We're about to look inside a THS racing pipe. That's right, that's what it looks like, guys. Congratulations. The absolute fastest pipe on the market.
Nitro World Order. Nitro World Order.
What's up, Nitro Gang? This is a Traxxas REVO 3.3, and the Traxxas REVO has one fatal flaw. The fact that it does not have a 3-speed, oh, that's just a joke. The fatal flaw is the fact that you can sometimes hold the entire exhaust system right here in your hand, guys. And yes, this is broken. So in this video, we will be putting on the most popular, best upgrade pipe that is a direct fit to this particular Traxxas REVO 3.3, and I have it right here. This is the THS racing pipe. We will go over in depth on the specs. We'll take a look inside the pipe later. Check out the manufacturer website. Let me show you here what we have before we actually install it. The entire pipe kit here is included. You see it as it is brand new. Now, a lot of people like to think, well, if I install a tuned pipe, I'm going to get like, 100% more speed. Oh man, the tuned pipe is going to be so much better. It's going to sound completely different. It will blow everything away in terms of past performance. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you that modern Traxxas tuned pipes are already very good. And in fact, the one that broke off of the one that I have here is already a dual chamber tuned pipe. We will be taking a look inside multiple types of pipes, including a Traxxas REVO, the older style REVO pipe, at a regular muffler from an original HPI Nitro RS4, and then also at a single chamber tuned pipe from an HPI Bullet. Needless to say, not a single Nitro Gang video is complete without facts, without evidence, and without proper Nitro Gang research. And for your viewing pleasure and educational purposes, we will be taking a look at some awesome vintage RC magazines. And both of these magazines will talk a lot about the benefits of tuned pipes. In fact, we will once and for all find out how much actual power will you get when you upgrade to a tuned pipe. As I said before, we all like to think you stick a tuned pipe in and it's completely different. It's like going from a Nissan Altima to a Porsche 911. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's like going from a Nissan Altima to a slightly higher trim Nissan Altima. I'm just kidding. Fact is, modern pipes are already very good. Normally, this pipe should be on the car, right? Well, in this case, it's in my hand. So what happens is, when you take a lot of jumps, you take some bad landings, especially when you're running without the body. The way that this pipe was originally mounted, it was mounted here, pretty much high on top. And if you take a lot of jumps, sometimes without the body, the first tendency will be for your header to actually break. You could tell I am missing the entire connection to the motor on top of this header piece right over here. That's not very good. Now, the only solution I had was to replace this header with another $20 header. Or in our case, I said, hey man, why not just for demonstration purposes, all of us want to know, let's get the best possible tuned pipe system out there. And I decided to get the THS Racing tuned pipe system specifically made for this Traxxas REVO, what I just showed you guys earlier. So right now, let's take a look a little bit at the manufacturer's website to see what this pipe claims and what it's all about. And then guys, we will come back. We will take a close look at some of the cool information, some of the secrets to pipes. We'll take a look at a select pipe. We'll take a look at what a dual chamber pipe is. We'll take a look at the way pipes are constructed and some awesome dyno test results. And then I will put the THS pipe on this thing and we will have made another Traxxas REVO great again. Let's go to the manufacturer website, do a little bit of research. On the THS Racing home website, there seems to be some kind of stock problem. The first thing it says, I'm sorry, but I have no ETAs on pipes. Any news will be posted here. So, your chance of getting a pipe is probably very low. We're going to go to shop and click on the Traxxas exhaust systems. The fact that it's out of stock That's really a problem. It's not great. The only one that seems to be in stock is this Traxxas T-Max 2.5 system, which is $45. Very good deal. If you want something, get this. This is good. Now, the one we have is this $60 Traxxas REVO 2.5 and 3.3 system. $60 out of stock. Comes with everything you need. We got the exhaust header. We got the couplers. We have some springs for the header. We have the exhaust deflector. And we have the spring for the header itself. Let's read what this says. Specifically tuned for application to get the most performance out of your engine over the entire power band. Yet at an affordable price, you will gain a lot of torque. Pipe is chambered, not hollowed. For best performance and sound, will also work on OS 1821 TM and 18 TM. Dual chamber. It says pipe is chambered, not hollow. So it's a dual chamber tuned pipe. And it says for best performance and sound. Now, sound is highly subjective. Performance, also slightly subjective. But we already know, since you're coming off with a good pipe, this is just a good-looking upgrade. And price-wise, it's not terrible. So it comes with everything you need. It's out of stock. So that's the problem. I got this a couple months ago, guys. So let's go take a look at the magazines now. Time to learn a couple things about tuned pipe technology. We have the pipes here all the way on top. The THS is what we're going to be installing in a minute. We will take a look inside all of these pipes, don't you worry. But first, we have a 1997 issue with some awesome information and also a special first seen on this channel, Radio Control Nitro magazine. It says 100% more power. It's all in the pipe. We're going to go to that article, guys. Let's start over here on the left. So the first pipe I wanted to show you is the most famous CVEC power pipe. Now, this used to be the best upgrade you could possibly get for pretty much any HPI you would run back then. It says the absolute fastest pipe on the market. I'm going to go over these sections in a little bit. CVEC pipe advantages: faster acceleration, more torque, longer run times, increased top speed as much as 25%, more efficient use of fuel, cool engine temperature, easy mounting, stable pressure for fuel tank. Okay, it sounds all good. Of course, it did come in multiple colors, so whatever color you wanted, you would be good with that. These are some of the most common RCs that people used to use these CVEC pipes on. You know, basic 8-scale buggies. This looks like a 110 scale gas truck, and then they just go down the list. Now, what really matters is why the CVEC was so good at what it did. So it had a dual chamber pipe design. What happens is you have the beginning called the divergence cone. Then you have a piece here with adjustable pins. It's labeled convergence/regulator tube. So based on your pin selection, you could adjust certain levels of the back pressure of the tuned pipe. And of course, that would result in a different response. Now, a lot of people didn't really know what they were doing. I will, in fact, admit I never had a CVEC tuned pipe, but from the people that did have them, that knew Nitro, they said this made a significant big fat difference in performance. Let's read this part here. It says how it works. The patented CVEC power system regulator is attached to a modular expansion chamber in place of the stinger. The regulator has precision machined helical holes that allow a smooth transition of exhaust gases, which will maintain a high exhaust back pressure at low engine speeds and a low back pressure at high speeds. Result: more low-end torque, more mid-range torque, and top speed. Well, that all sounds quite fantastic. So, years ago, you know, vintage RC magazines had a lot of interesting information. In fact, there's also an entire article here about exhaust supercharge your engine by installing a tuned pipe. Now, of course, this is 1997 stuff, but you could see this is further a breakdown of a CVEC pipe. You basically adjust a cone. This is what it would look like inside a pipe. Typical features of a dual chamber tuned pipe. You have the stinger, the divergence chamber, the convergence chamber, you know, silicone connector, blah, blah, blah. Basically, this is what happens. Exhaust ends here, there's like holes here, then it goes into a different pressurized chamber. Let's take a look at some of these pipes. And before we look at some more information on horsepower statistics and ratings, let's just go over these pipes and we will see whether we can in fact tell a difference. We're going to start with a THS tuned pipe, guys, okay? We're going to just take this, stick it sideways. We're going to look inside. So you see what's going on there? I'm going to give you a very good close view. You could see inside the pipe, there are 4 holes that you can clearly see they're kind of huge. And I know it's hard to look at the depth of a pipe like this, but that convergence cone over there does not go all the way to the end of the pipe. So you could see a clear design where the divergence cone ends and the rest of the pipe there begins. Let's take a look at the Traxxas Resonator tuned pipe that we just removed from the Revo. This is also a dual chamber design. As you can look inside, it's not much different from the THS. A very similar design, the same exact 4 holes, right? So upgrading to a THS, you're not going to get night and day performance, but you will get some advantages, mainly the spring header. We'll get to that later. It's still in this box. Let's take a look at this older Revo tuned pipe. Now, in fact, this is also exactly the same design. So for those of you guys that think the old Revo pipes are not good, it's basically the same design as the THS. This, we cannot look inside because I have a header, but this is a single chamber tuned pipe from an HPI bullet. Just one chamber, nothing in there. And this is an old style muffler from an HPI Nitro RS4. You could tell it doesn't even look like the rest of these pipes. So back during these time periods, if you had a pipe like this, getting anything that looked like a tuned pipe was in your best interest. And that is where the horsepower was. Let's go to this article now, because this is going to be quite interesting. Page 40. Let's see. So page 40, what do we got over here? We got tuned pipe performance, see the real numbers. All right, I'm all for real numbers, guys. So here they're talking about some of, back pressure, exhaust port, transfer port, air fuel mixture, and the positive pressure wave inside the tuned pipe right there. So if you look closely, this is like the breakdown image of what it would look like inside a pipe. So this is that cone we were talking about, right? The holes of the pipe inside. There we go. So it creates a certain pulse. There's a back pressure fitting, and that's how it gets more fuel into the engine. Timing is everything. High pressure burst as exhaust port opens. Powerful suction draws fresh air fuel mixture into the combustion chamber. Plugging return pulse packs air fuel mixture back into the cylinder. Tuned pipe pressure. So this is a graph of what it would look like in terms of pressure when the cylinder is at bottom dead center or, open exhaust, atmospheric pressure. If you guys want to pause it, look at this, study it, feel free. That's your choice. Another good representation of what it looks like inside a dual chamber tuned pipe and the actual names of what these things are called. So convergent cone, fuel pressure fitting, we all know that. Divergent cone, oil drainage holes. This article is probably the most important data-packed source that you will get in terms of how much performance you do gain from a tuned pipe upgrade. Now, the engine they're using, so this was the Tower Hobbies 15 engine that came in the ST15. It was quite a good motor. I had it, it ran okay, but it was very low RPM. But guys, I will tell you, it started and it ran just fine. Now, originally, that particular truck came with a muffler. So you see right here, these blue lines, those are the muffler lines. The red lines are the tuned pipe lines. So if you compare, let's say, the horsepower, this blue line, to this red line, the horsepower at peak, it's going from 0.3 to a little over 0.55. So I would say about an 80% increase. Either way, we don't need to talk about percentages here. The fact is, it's more than a 50% increase in horsepower from just a simple tuned pipe upgrade. And the same results you get for the torque as well. Now, keep in mind, they were using a muffler that was actually significantly worse than this particular muffler that HPI used. So the Tower Hobbies had a very, very terrible old style 1980s baffle style muffler. Modern tuned pipes, even if you're starting out with a single chamber tuned pipe like this, it doesn't really matter. They're going to be similar. I'm just telling you guys, the proof in the pudding is basically what you're looking at right here. So yes, you do get a lot more power from a tuned pipe upgrade. But the question is, what did you first start with? That is really what's important. And guys, nobody talks about what you started with. Oh, what's that? Art Attack, it's called. Nitro Elements. Oh, nice. This is nice. What is this? A Nitro snow machine? I like it. It looks sickening. Probably somebody decided to kill the nitro segment before this was actually released. All right, let's get on to installing the THS pipe. We looked inside, it looks sickening. Let's put it on the Revo. It's time to install the new THS system. Let's take a look at what's once again included. We got ourselves the pipe, exhaust deflector, another coupler here for the exhaust port on the motor. You'll see me put this on in a little bit. Unlike the original header, which was screwed in with 2 screws, you could see it's right there. And then when it breaks off, right? The new header will be attached with a spring mechanism that will go around the entire motor. And then in case there's any kind of need to flex, the spring will allow a little bit of flex. And that will save our header and our pipe. And you would never have a situation that I'm dealing with right now.
You think you know me?
First thing I did is just unscrew the 4 screws that are holding the motor just to the regular motor mount itself. And now we can get the motor out a little bit. Now, this might not be what you have to do, but basically when I looked over the motor, there was no possible way to get this spring around here and all the way, you know, so I can get it safely secured around the exhaust port. I think I'm gonna have to undo the easy start assembly here because there just really isn't any space. Like, I cannot get this spring that well. Well, maybe I can fit it, but it won't be that clean. I'm going to see if I can fit it around here, but you guys could see I can't even get it in through this opening. Okay, so it went a little bit here. Yeah, so it looks like the spring did go through pretty safely. All I did was just undo the 4 motor screws. Ran into a little problem. It looks like I also had to remove the easy start, but it's just so easy to work on these Traxxas Nitros. 3 simple screws, it slides right out. Absolutely nothing wrong. Now, I have fairly good access to the motor. I can see all the way around it. I cleaned up some of the rear parts here in the back. And now, hopefully, I should have no problem putting this in. This is the hard part. I have the spring almost right here in a hole. Finally got the spring around the header here. There was a bit of a struggle there. I was fighting the spring. But no spring is going to beat the Nitro Gang, guys. I gotta say. Without removing the easy start system and getting this motor out of the car, I don't know how I would have actually done this. There was very, very little room here to work with. It seems to be correctly on, and the tension on the gasket is very good. Let's continue with the rest of the assembly. The easy start is back on. You could see the way the header is mounted. Man, I don't know, honestly, without removing this easy start system, maybe if you were very creative, you could get this header on, but like the space here, the space constraints are fairly significant. Plus, I gotta tell you, the edge of this spring is quite soft. I did actually hold it with the needle nose and it almost bent. So I don't wanna have to buy another spring. Just trust me, guys. If you're doing this, remove the easy start a little bit, get it out of the way, and have a nice open engine block for you to work with. We have our exhaust gasket on the pipe itself, and we have a couple springs. So what's gonna happen now, we're just going to put the pipe right here. And now, what we'll have is a slightly flexible exhaust system. You notice that spring around the header. And now it has a little bit of give, right? So if you take a bad landing, your pipe could still move a little bit. And your header is not going to be breaking over here just like the Traxxas header actually did. I finally got myself a THS pipe system. You're always going to run into problems, and I've just ran into one. You see all these drill bits I have and this hardcore drill? Well, it turns out this little pipe holder, which is, you know, basically this hole right here going right through the top of the pipe, it's too narrow. If I try to put in the stock Traxxas REVO pipe holder, there is no way that it's fitting in there. And many people did tell me that you do have to drill out this hole. So right now, I'm going to drill out the hole. There's always problems. Let's do it. Okay, let's see now if the pipe holder will make it through. Sickening, guys. We could always figure out a proper solution. Problem solved. Upgraded THS If you smell what the Nitro Gang is cooking.
Girl so fine, but her breath is like whoa. She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to roll.